Today, we're going to be learning about turning points in the war, and we're going to be focusing on two key battles that happened. Both of them happened in the northern United States, and what I want you to be looking for is why were these two battles turning points in the war? A turning point is a time where something changes. So maybe one side won or another side won, and that meant that the war started going towards the North's favor or the South's favor, or maybe they learned a very valuable lesson. But regardless of what it is, you're looking for turning points in the war and why they were turning points. So we will go ahead and read the section. It says, key battles in the North. During the first 2 years of the war, the Confederacy won many battles in the East. It kept the Union Army from capturing the Confederate capital at Richmond, Virginia. Then on September 17, 1862, forces clashed in Sharpsburg, Maryland at the Battle of Antietam. Antietam was the first battle on Northern soil, and the battle ended up being the bloodiest day in U.S. military history. More than 23,000 men were left dead by the end. Although neither side defeated the other, it was considered a Union victory because General Lee and his Confederate forces finally retreated. The Battle of Antietam was a turning point in the war since it led to Lincoln issuing his Emancipation Proclamation. In 1863, Lee decided that a Confederate victory in the North might convince the Union to ask for peace. In a bold move, he invaded Pennsylvania with most of his army. On July 1st, a group of Confederate soldiers entered the town of Gettysburg. They ran into Union soldiers, and fighting soon broke out. Major General George G. Meade, who led the Union Army, lined up most of his troops on a strip of high ground. For 2 days, they beat back the fierce Confederate attacks. On the third day, Lee decided on a brave gamble. He sent General George Pickett and about 15,000 troops to attack the middle of General Meade's defensive line, where the Union Army was strongest. Yelling and waving flags, Pickett's men crossed 400 yards of open fields before charging up the strip of high ground. Union bullets and cannonballs tore into them, and soon dead bodies covered the ground. A few Confederates reached the top of the ridge, but Union soldiers drove them back. Pickett's charge failed, and Confederates had lost the Battle of Gettysburg. Gettysburg was another major turning point of the war. Lee lost more than 1/3 of his army and was forced to return to Virginia. The Confederacy would not invade the North again for the rest of the war. So you have two questions. First, why was the Battle of Antietam a turning point in the war? And second, why was the Battle of Gettysburg a turning point in the war? If you didn't catch it in the video, go back to the text when I'm done. Then you're going to watch 2 short video clips about the Emancipation Proclamation. They talk about that in the reading, that because of Antietam, it led Lincoln to issue the Emancipation Proclamation. What I want you to tell me is, what is the purpose of it? The last thing you're going to do is watch 2 video clips about the Gettysburg Address. Okay, Lincoln gave the Gettysburg Address, and I want you to tell me what the purpose of this address was. Please let me know if you have any questions.